What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Cousin Cecil Show. I'm your host, Cousin Cecil, aka Mike Fowler. How is you guys doing? How was your week? That's why I sounded like I was tongue-tied, because I tried to mash two different phrases at once. Actually, not judging by how I speak, because this is normal. My week's been doing pretty good. Hopefully you guys had a great week too. We had obviously some good news with State of Plays. It's Pokemon Week, though the ending of Pokemon Week when I'm recording. And the idea of we have, just been some good news going around. And it just shows that also that the industry that we've been trying to cover here is back from either holidays or we're starting to get into the role of news for the year. Well, yeah. Like we do every week, we're going to start off with what I've been playing. And I can also say I like to have everyone check out again, like I keep batting it like a dead horse, twitch.tv/Cousin Cecil. On there, you get to watch me stream usually I've been trying to be consistent on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and every other Thursday, because on the opposite Thursday you don't see me on, I am doing the Garbage Opinions podcast. But yeah, and also try to do Fridays, but that one's not as consistent as Tuesdays and Wednesdays. But this week we've been playing Destiny 2 on there, Fortnite, just because Fortnite had Street Fighter skins, and they keep rolling out these skins because also now the James Cameron Alien, you can be Ripley. Hopefully it's Ripley. Yeah, Ripley, because Ridley is the Metroid one. Ripley, and then also the Xenomorph itself. But I picked up the Ryu and Chun-Li skins because I love Street Fighter in the sense of it holds near and dear to my heart, and also Chun-Li's dragging that wagon, if you know what I mean. But along with that, with those skins, I also, like usual, because they've been all parties have been doing pretty good, consistently making sales. And I picked up a couple new games that I didn't play on stream yet because of I have better time playing off camera on certain things. Because I forgot to say that. If you go on my channel on Twitch, and the last time I streamed, so the last time you'll see it say like Fortnite for maybe like an hour and a half. I had my first ever had to ban somebody on the stream, and just more you could watch it on there, because also it was the guy got to stay on the chat a lot longer than he should because of me being a person not knowing I didn't know how simple it was to ban somebody with a phone. That was pretty simple once I figured it out. Even the idea that I'm streaming off of a PlayStation 5 with no computer. So if anybody ever had trouble with anybody in their chats and they're trying to stream, it's the /ban. It's either ban/ or /ban. It pops up. I think it's /ban, because you can get all the other actions popped up, kind of like you're doing like a Twitter handle, and just type in the person's name that's in your chat, and they're gone. Boop. But yeah, I was been on a little bit of a roll. I know it sounds little, but the idea like I'm up to 32 followers on there. Got to get up to 50 to be in the considerations for affiliate. We're working our way. And then also, I forgot to say, because I took a pause after a little joke about Chun-Li, I also streamed like 45 minutes of the Outriders demo that came out this week, and that's going to be a pass for me. And I think it's the approach or the introduction. It didn't come at me right. Like you can watch me on the stream. I did 45 minutes, and maybe 35, maybe 30 minutes is dialogue and walking from point A to point B listening to somebody. And that's not really good off-putting for a demo. And also for, this is supposed to be some kind of like third person, I don't want to call it Destiny, but the idea of a third person could be multiplayer and you guys are elemental power wielding people in space. And the idea of it just didn't catch my attention in a good way. It looks okay. I also saw that it's running really good on PlayStation, and I've heard some on Xbox too, but I don't want to be like that person right now. Like, they said the PS5 has a little bit more locked in 60 frames, but that's irrelevant. It has some weird dialogue choices, some weird facial expressions, and it's from the people who can fly, which I believe are people who made that other Epic Games Bulletstorm. They made Bulletstorm, and it just seems like it's going to be. I feel for them. They're not even out yet. It is definitely going to be a flash in the pan. People are going to talk about it, and it ain't no Anthem, which is also another news story. But the idea of it just lost my interest really quick. But I gave it a try. You can again check it out on twitch.tv/CousinCecil. And then another one I'm more happy I found, in the sense of, when I say found, I decided to purchase, is I have been playing for the past maybe 12 hours already in Jurassic World Evolution, which is basically Roller Coaster Tycoon, but with the Jurassic Park. And for some reason, it is what I've been looking for all this time for right now. If you ever have, like, it's literally, it's like guilty pleasure gaming for me right now. I've been trying to figure out what is it about it, because it is just a simple, over-the-top God mode style that you're just running a park, you're seeing numbers, and the only thing that makes Jurassic World Evolutions a little different is, if you want, which I don't play these games, so I'm trying to make it sound like it's something different. Maybe it's not. But the idea of you, if you want to be a park ranger, okay, you can jump into the Jeep, like you're automatically in the Jeep, drive around your park, and then it makes, instead of ordering them to do shit, and it might take them some time, you can go up there and just do it instantly, spend the cash, blah, blah, blah. But then the idea of, in this game, the dinosaurs could get sick. So you can be the one driving the Jeep, get into the playpen of the dinosaurs, and you can park, and then you be the one shooting the actual like medical dart gun at them. You can also drive a plane to help, like if say a dinosaur gets loose. So you have to be the ACU team that goes and tranquilizes them from the helicopter. So that's the little twist to it. Plus, also it's obviously Jurassic World and dinosaurs, and obviously you can make them like one of some missions you work on is like, yeah, make these two fight. We get a contract out of it, either for entertainment or you're preparing your security for these live situations. But it's pretty fun. It's my way of thinking. This is how Nintendo people are with Animal Crossing, in the sense of it's just a pleasure of just calm, even though like Jurassic World, you have dinosaurs possibly breaking in the fences, or you have to worry about tropical storms. It's smooth sailing in that game for me. It just feels real good. But yeah, another quick ones down the pipe. If I want to, possibly it might go on stream. If anybody listens, tell me on the hashtag the Cousin Cecil Show. I also picked up Dreams, because it's only $10 right now. I also picked up this 2D cyberpunk noir called Sense. Some people gave it some qualms because like the 2D girl you play is like a big titted fucking cyberpunk chick, but I'm not I haven't even played it yet, besides I watched the trailer and it looks like a pretty cool 2D like novel 2D mystery game. So I want to check it out. Maybe I'll stream it. Just let me know at hashtag Cousin Cecil, because usually my streams are set up to be of course multiplayer or something. Like we've been running Destiny for 2 weeks, and then Fortnite was the first week, and things are always up for switching around. That's what's the perk about me wanting to be like more of a variety streamer. I don't want to be plugged in to be known as, oh yeah, Cousin Cecil plays this only, or this and that. I want to be like, he might be dropping this game because he wants to try and let you guys check it out too. That's my bread and butter. I hopefully would be. But yeah, hopefully you guys are having a great week like usual. But we'll get into some of the smaller stuff, and then we're getting into our big boys, like the PlayStation State of Play. But apparently this week was known that Charm City Kings director Angel Manuel Soto is now set to direct Blue Beetle for DC Comics Warner Brothers. And they're obviously going to be running the Blue Beetle of Jamie Reyes. Obviously will be the first Latino superhero movie. And if you guys don't know who Blue Beetle as Jamie is, I would definitely suggest to go watch Young Justice Outsiders season, because he's in that. You can also, his character for a movie wise, he's also in the Teen Titans versus Justice League movie. He's obviously part of the Teen Titans side of the spectrum of the story. But yeah, he's my favorite Blue Beetle, and he's also like one of my top DC heroes I like. I actually was reading his Rebirth. Fell it short because I think it's hard to. I don't know what they were making it so hard to be, but they just try to make it bigger than it needs to be. Besides the idea of like he could be running they could be easily making him running a town, kind of like a Spider-Man-esque, like, yeah, I run this whole New Mexico border shift of stuff, but yeah, I'm happy for that. I'm excited because I didn't get to watch Charm City Kings yet. I know it's on HBO Max, but I need to sit down and watch it. I'm just more excited for that whole idea of just it's on the board and they're working on getting that all set up. And then apparently before the State of Play, Jim Ryan's ugly ass got on an interview by GQ and said PSVR 2 is real. It's coming out sooner than it's going to come out, and they are using the things they've learned and the advancements of VR to make it better than obviously PSVR 1. And they're also setting up a new controller, which this is all ideas of no shit. And like the idea of the headset's going to be just a single plug and play style of, like, when I say plug and play, like you're going to plug it into your system, one cord, because obviously the PSVR uses it kind of looks like an old Matrix style thick cord that goes into another little box, and that little box has two different cords that plug into the system and all that stuff. A little messy, very bad, badly designed, but obviously it was okay at the first starting of VR. But it's good to hear this, and then also another little croup into this little talk is obviously Days Gone is now confirmed that is coming to PC. And Jim Ryan also said more first parties might be coming to computer. But obviously just Days Gone is for sure coming to PC. And that's probably one of the better ones in the sense of, which is the other one that just went on PC, to Horizon. Seeing a really good third-person game is probably a really good target audience for PC. Because the idea of the only way I could think of a third-person style game that flourishes on PC is like Witcher 3. I think whatever, don't quote me on this, but like the Grand Theft Autos that have went to PC, I'm not sure which ones. It has to be Grand Theft Auto 5. Grand Theft Auto 5's obviously flourishes on PC. People beg for Red Dead Redemption 2, which is not out yet, I believe. But the idea of it's a very small marketplace for a big thing of PC. So I think that's probably what we're going to be aiming towards. So the idea of that's what their whole bread and butter has been lately. Could I see? Ooh, I don't even know. I would bet more that I would see it's a weird window. Could I see Jack and Daxter come to PC as a third person, just a game? But it's not pretty enough for today's day and age. They're like, oh yeah, you should go play it on the PC. I'm not sure. Of course, I mean, people always hint at God of War, but it'd be God of War came out 2018. Days Gone came out later, but obviously just it's lackluster compared. Maybe after after God of War Ragnarok, you might see. I could see him put God of War 2018 on a PC. And yeah, hopefully we'll see. I mean, it's not my cup of tea. I think they should keep it in the exclusive spot, but I'm not their stock owners. I'm not running their business, whatever. But yeah. Next news was the Vampire Bloodlines 2, The Masquerade, is basically delayed indefinitely and has been sent out to another studio. Apparently the current studio got canned off the project and they're sending it off away. Judging by their trailer they had at the Xbox games little presentation this last summer, I can't blame them, but also at the same time, I was kind of shocked to hear that it got delayed, but what is that old Miyamoto thing? A delayed game's not bad, you know what I mean? Compared to a pushed out game that could get worse or be worse, whatever. They have time to let it cook. So there's plenty of games out there to at least go back to or that's coming out, so give it some time. Let it come out and flourish right. But hopefully it all goes smooth for Bloodlines fans. But yeah. The third Spider-Man movie is officially named. It's going to be called Spider-Man No Way Home. After a day of trolling, the actors posted fake names like Home Slice and Home Wrecker and Phone Home. It's official that Spider-Man No Way Home will be out in theaters this Christmas. And apparently people on Twitter were very excited to say that it is the first director of the Marvel Cinematic Universe that got to do his full trilogy without any interruptions or anything. Tom Watts. And Tom Watts is going to be the Fantastic Four director. And I sound slightly retarded because that's how I talk when I'm thinking in my head at the same time to make sure I'm correct. But yeah, they had some images. Nothing in images. To me, the images they showed were like them in a basement, kind of look like was it Pulp Fiction with Vic? Yeah, I'm kind of worried right now with him and Bruce Willis downstairs with that weird moment. But yeah, I'm excited. Of course, Spider-Man. This whole little Tom Holland run of Spider-Man's been great. It's been it's like that. It's not too big to fail, but it's been so not over the top, but it's not been low barred. It's been a very solid plane of existence that it can't go wrong in my eyes. But yeah, and then before we get into the big one, obviously Anthem, we discussed 2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago that they were making the decision if they're going to push on to Anthem next or they're going to can it, and they decided to can it. And they canned it so bad, or Anthem came out so bad that made BioWare get the okay from EA that they do not have to do multiplayer in the sense of for Dragon Age 4 has been revealed that there will not be any multiplayer in it. It'll just be pure single player story stuff, which good in that sense. But thanks to how Anthem flopped, and they also, EA said they used Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Yeah, the Titanfall guys used their game as a point of like, oh, that went really well. So, oh wow, people like single player games, even though they said that years ago that we didn't. So I'm glad to hear that obviously we don't have to worry about some pushed out multiplayer for certain parts in EA games coming through because of just how shitty it was. Obviously, hey, the lines were in the sand. Those other the directors that were part of Anthem already left. So I'm glad now they can just also shut the book on that and then now focus on making Dragon Age 4 as best as they can be. And obviously, good luck to BioWare. You have a massive chip on your chest, in my eyes, to prove to your fans, to make sure that you're going to do good. And not just throwing out the Legendary Edition of Mass Effect and then throwing out a piss-poor Dragon Age is going to do it for you. You have to make sure Dragon Age 4 soars. And I'm hoping for you. I'm here for you. I'm praying for you. But yeah, that's for the small news. Let me double check because I like how I type this shit in. Yeah, the rest of it's going to be its own, or it's going to go right down the pipe of how the week went. All right, so we're into now the PlayStation State of Play. And the PlayStation State of Play this week was on Thursday, 5 o'clock. And I will say before we start, I give it a good B-, C+. Because the B- is for me as a own PlayStation fanboy / I have a very wide plethora of taste in games. So you'll understand when we get down there, but I think for a general consumer, this was pretty C+, kind of mediocre at the end of the day, because you'll understand. But all right, like we always do, we're going to go right through the whole bad boy. And it started off with Crash 4 being announced for officially for PS5. It's going to have 4K 60 frames per second. And the save progression is going to be no problem. So we're going to have a cross save, or the idea of you can bring your save with you from the PS4 version. And they're also using the DualSense features. So it's going to be one of those games that actually look into using the DualSense controller. So that's great to know. I never played Crash 4 yet. And then knowing that might be the key. We should all take a step back, PS5 owners, and look at that games collection that we got. We did get Crash Bandicoot, the Insane Trilogy, for free for the PS5. Well, you know what I mean? The free PS4 version of the games, blah, 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 but, you can play on your PS5. And now we have Crash 4, going to have a update. Granted, it's not free, but the idea it's a free for owners right now, so that's cool to see. But yeah, I'm excited. I'll only pick it up if it's on sale. It's been because watch the rest of the show. We got a lot more to come through. We had an update on Returnal out April 30th. A little bit more of a story descripted, little deep dive into it. It was only 3-4 minutes, but the idea of show actual gameplay. It looks great. I've been looking at it. It looks really good. They talked about the character we play is named Celine, and I didn't know this that well, but the game is a procedural game. So the idea of you can have one run, and this only happens, and you die, and then you obviously have a over revolving world, kind of like a Hades, kind of like those other roguelikes. But this one has some weird little staple things that still will happen, like they show, which is cool. Like you go into a game and then you have your old house and you have weird memories of the old house, and you go in and it goes into this first person mode to push out a story for it. because I'm not going to say Hades was a bad story, because that people have been praising about that. So, but the idea of this is going to take some. This was obviously being made during when Hades was being made, so I'm not saying they copied pasted it. The idea we're going to have another studio doing a really great idea of making a really good narrative to a roguelike procedural gameplay. And I'm also just saying, because I like Housemarque, but I mean, it could be good, could be bad, but I'm just hoping for the best. But yeah, and also, like I said, April 30th, you can pre-order now. And then next was, we had more Knockout City that we got the first reveal trailer during the Nintendo Direct last week. But this one shows it comes out May 21st. You can sign up for a cross-play beta on their website for PlayStation. It looks okay. This trailer showed a little bit more of the actual fundamentals of the game. So it's a 3v3. There's different types of balls. You can also ball up for your teammates to use you as a ball. Also involves it's like dodgeball. It's dodgeball, but like an open world battle royale style dodgeball too. So you can pump fake, throwing the ball and then get them off guard of their guard to catch and do sidewinder throws. In my opinion, it looks good, but obviously if it doesn't come out free to play, I don't think it's gonna last. No matter what. I could be wrong. It might have been said free to play. I just don't remember. But it comes out May 21st. It does look good. It looks fun and bright and kitty. Like a Splatoon Worms. Like the newest Worms. Like that feel. It looks fine. But just I don't think it's going to have a foot to get any new players. In my opinion. And then the next game is probably the first little sparkle into this state of play because it's a brand new game. We got a new game from the studio Slow Clap. Previous game, this is where I didn't connect the dots until somebody said it, is they made Absolver, which was that open online martial art game. Because then they made now this game, their new game's called Sifu, Sifu. Looks good, and it looks like an old kung fu movie, but it has this weird, very close-bodied, where you see where they took the cues from Absolver of the real knowing how the martial art of your hand blocking stuff will do. You can see it being put into this game, and nothing says it's good. What's the word? It's not saying it's not bad when you start the trailer off doing a Daredevil hallway kung fu beat down through the whole hallway scene of the trailer. This brawler was announced is going to be coming out this year, just in 2021, just no exact date. And another exact date, or not exact date for 2021 is the next game was, we got gameplay for Hyperlife Drifter's predecessor, Solar Ash. We see the gameplay. They announced that it's this is the game they showed a sizzle trailer of it during the PS5 reveal, but now we actually see a real gameplay trailer and discussion. It looks great. It looks like I never played Hyperlife Drifter, but the idea of I think that was a little bit more 2D. This one's definitely a 3D version. It kind of gives me the feels of the Pathless, which obviously was a indie game of the year for Cousin Cecil. But with actual combat and worried about real true platforming. I don't want to say puzzles, but the idea of true open world 3D world platforming. But that's going to come out for PS4 and PS5. I believe Sifu is also PS4 and PS5. That's where it gets the grades go down, is because the majority of these games are just are PS4, PS5 combos. Next was Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. It looks fun because of course the originals were mobile, so that's just sitting and tapping and shit. And then the VR one Help Wanted. I never played it, but I'm assuming it's either stationary or on rails. This one feels like Five Nights at Freddy's and Outlast had a baby. You can be walking through this mall that's like seems like it's on space, but I think it's just like a futuristic looking mall, and you can get scared out later, and it comes out later this year. But it just looks different because you can free roam. You're now a security of a mall. You get to walk from fucking store to store. Like in the scene, you look like you're at the kids like Chuck E. Cheese, where it would be like the Freddy's at. And you jump into the ball pit, and you can also be like at the food court of the mall. So it looks very interesting and probably the most, definitely the most innovative of the Five Nights at Freddy's thing. But I wonder what this brings the story to, because I think I've said before on the podcast a couple weeks back, I've watched a timeline of the Five Nights at Freddy's story lore, and that show is fucked up. A lot of involving this man stealing children and trapping them in bodies and stuff, but we'll see what this goes, because definitely this is going to be the most futuristic one of the series. After Freddy's, the next game was the next Oddworld Soulstorm was shown, and they're happy to announce that it's using like the DualSense very heavily, using the vibrations for Abe for like feeling anxious and stuff. And now they made Abe can pickpocket now, and of course all the original powers of Abe is in it. And you can also play the game as full pacifist or not. It's up to you, he said. And the little cherry on top is they announced that it's coming out April 6th, and it will be free for PS5 owners, the PS5 version, because it's going to be the PS5 PS Plus game of April. It was like Peter Piper pick a peppers. That's really cool to see. It's really good especially for me, an early adopter, and all of us who are early adopters, to hear we're getting some more free games for the idea of these troubling times, and like the idea that I'm glad they see that they're going to at least let this game shine somehow by giving at least to some of the community for quote unquote free. Of course, if you have PS4, kind of like Bugsnax, you have to pay for it, but hey, what are you going to do? And next we had a gameplay trailer for Kenna Bridge of Spirits, and they announced that it'll be out August 26th. It looks amazing, and I'm very surprised because it was announced that, or not like they announced it like that, but like they highlighted that it's going to be on PS4 as well, because it looked beautiful. Of course, they can be showing just the PS5 version for trailers, but it just looked very animated movie, amazing of quality. For the story of that, is it Amber Labs? Like hearing about it, just a very small group. I think it's like two brothers are the owners. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Again, August 26th. Can't come sooner. And then we got a new Deathloop trailer with a cool James Bond-esque theme. And I think that comes out in May. And pre-order now. It looked good. I mean, this one is definitely just the highlighting of the new theme song for it. And it's like, yeah, I don't want to say it's like, oh, it's a Deathloop, doo doo doo, but it felt like that. I think it's really enjoyable. I'm still not. It's not like that. It's just more. I'm definitely a sales guy. So if I catch that baby on sale, I know it's on sale right now for pre-ordering it. Like you can get the deluxe version of it for the price of a regular quote unquote PS5 game for $70. So maybe I'll look into it like that or whatever. But then now we're already at the end. So they ended the presentation with Final Fantasy VII Remake. And they teased we are getting a Yuffie chapter for that comes out June 10th. So there will be DLC for the PS4 version of Final Fantasy VII Remake for Yuffie. and it's going to be. It seems like it's going to be how Yuffie got to Midgar, and kind of like it's like integrates her story. Stick to me with that name. Into this new timeline-esque version of the Final Fantasy storyline with these parts. And then they also announced that they will be making, which I think people were definitely for sure was going to happen, but now it's official. There will be a Final Fantasy VII Remake PS5 edition that they're going to call the PS5 edition. Like if you went to a mom and pop brick and mortar store, it'll be Final Fantasy VII Remake integrated, because the PS5 one, if you go to the store and buy it brand new, it will come with the Yuffie chapter already purchased. But they also announced, obviously, PS4 owners now have the free upgrade, and we just have to pay, don't quote me, but what, $10, maybe $15 for the Yuffie chapter when it comes out. So that's cool. They also said this PS5 version will have improved lighting. It'll have better background products. Not products, but like a different... Like if you know how in the Final Fantasy VII Remake and PS4, you're looking at like a landscape. It kind of looks like a flat piece of shit. They're putting improved graphics into those backgrounds. Of course, better lighting. Photo mode, apparently. Of course, there'll be a resolution mode and a performance mode. And, it'll be the complete version. I'm trying to look at all my little list of all this other news. But I'm excited. It makes me... And also you can move your progress from PS4 to PS5. So if I can just switch over my PS4 save to PS5 and get an instant plat, I'll definitely do it, and then I'll be very happy just to play Yuffie, because there's only a couple chapters. I don't know any of I'm not good at Final Fantasy faces, but the trailer made it look like they put more characters that are in the story to show that they are in Midgar. They just were just not shown in the first movie. It looks like a movie. The first game. So I know some fans were like, ooh, this guy's there now. Oh, bing, 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 boom, boom. So I didn't want to spoil it like that, but like, it looks interesting. And then that was the show. They said, thank you, see you later. Slapped us on the butt and made us go home. After the state of play, we did get some news through Final Fantasy, though. I wanted to stick to that. There's two. Square Enix is going to make 2 mobile games for Final Fantasy VII. One of them is what would be, I would call it like a pocket edition, like, because this is the director who did Final Fantasy 15 doing this. So they're going to a pocket edition of Final Fantasy VII for mobile that does the whole story, even all the way to the whole Final Fantasy VII story, not just Remake on phone. But then the other clinker game is they are going to do a Battle Royale mobile game in the Midgar world, and it's apparently a prequel-esque, that this is just how Shinra collected their soldiers for their missions, or their army. Obviously, the winners of them become recruited for Shinra. So yeah. You get to train like a soldier in a mobile Battle Royale game. So, oh my god. But there's of course, there's fans somewhere that wants to play that shit. But yeah, they announced that off State of Play, but that was just off their Twitter handle, Square Enix. But the part that... Okay, we'll take a step back to the State of Play. The reason why people are saying C+, which I can agree, besides Sifu, it's either Sifu or Shifu, however you want to say it, there was literally no new games besides, of course, you want to break into the Yuffie content, but there were no new games shown that were not involved in just the simple PS5 reveal. So I agree, but also, like, again, I'm one of those people that I have rose-colored glasses for them. So at least I can not brave enough. I can at least just state that I know that I have them. So, but I do like seeing the progression of like we see now more. Like even like how Friday Nights at Freddy's trailer before was just them showing fucking hallways. This one actually shows gameplay and gets me excited. So I'm looking forward to it, but also I have to put credit where credit's due. The fans are right. It was very lackluster. I wish there was more, but I'm glad I got anything from them because they've been very quiet because obviously it's been the holidays and all that stuff. You can hear it here. We haven't been talking about PlayStation that much on the fucking podcast, and I had to pull like multiple episodes out of my ass for talking about movies and shit. But the one thing about this week was a little off was, okay, why hasn't PlayStation said their next month's PS Plus rounds? Well, they should have done on the State of Play, but they didn't. Apparently, next month is going to be a huge March monthly games are going to be. They're going to give us the PS4 version of Final Fantasy VII Remake. So if you don't have it already, you have it. And then when you switch to PS5, you'll have now the free upgraded version of Final Fantasy VII Remake. So that's pretty cool. They also announced Farpoint, which is the VR shooting game that I got a little bit of motion sickness from, which I have, but obviously that's free for PSVR owners. And then Remnant from Ashes, which is a third-person. I don't want to call it Diablo, but it's a very good Diablo-esque game in the sense of here's a base, touch the magic stone, you go to the battle world, the level, and, you're picking up items like an RPG. It's pretty fun. I did have it for a second when GameStop had a daily deal for like $8 for it, and then I just didn't have time. But now having it for free, that's always a different story. And then they also apparently this PS5 game called Marquette is going to be free. I've never heard of it, but we're going to have a free brand new game for PS5 called Marquette. And I'm pretty confident that they're going to still have Destruction All-Stars for free this month. So it's a big whopping month for free games for the PlayStation Store, world and ecosystem. But yeah. Then we had Friday, we had a Pokemon Anniversary Direct. Kind of Direct. And I'll be honest with you, I was more hyped about this little Direct. This was 15 minutes of news that was, I don't want to say it blew out the water, but it outshined the whole State of Play for me compared. We got info on the new Pokemon Snap, which obviously talks about it's going to come out soon. You can send your photos online and get them kind of highlighted and all that stuff. They show there's new berries, so you can have the idea of they had I don't want to say the wrong name, but the newest bunny from Sword and Shield starter. He was kicking up fire, and you can throw a fruit over there and makes the fire shine blue. To have your pictures be different than others and have ideas of doing those multiple runs of getting the perfect shot. So that's pretty cool. And then before the whole Direct, people were like this, are they gonna reveal Pokemon Gen 4 remake of, so Gen 4 is Sinnoh, Platinum, and Pearl? Or are they going to go to that people are saying Let's Go Johto, so basically the Let's Go Pikachu versions of Gen 2, which is Gold and Silver. But no, apparently they didn't reveal just one Sinnoh game, but they revealed two fucking Sinnoh region games. Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl are coming out this fall, and the trailer shows it is definitely a remake in the sense of they basically did room for improvement of the original game. And this game apparently was outsourced. So that's why if you see the trailer for Brilliant Diamond and Shiny Pearl. It's definitely looked like the Link's Awakening Switch game with like that little chibi style. It doesn't have Pokemon walking around like in Let's Go, so it's like an old school style Pokemon game. I believe also that Pokemon Diamond and Pearl were one of the first or the last versions of the game before they started making it like dumbed down and younger-esque style for the games. So people are excited to see the puzzles and dealing with like the Pokemon champion Cynthia. Like people are excited to play all that and stuff. And it looks great, but like I said, it was outsourced to a different studio to do this. The reason for that is the second game. The second game is a prequel to the Sinnoh region called Pokemon Legends Arceus. You play a trainer that helps create the first Sinnoh Pokédex, but this is the game to watch carefully for. I think this one might be the real shiny thing. Like I said, it was outsourced. The Game Freaks worked on the Pokemon Legends one itself. The trailer makes it look like it is a open world Breath of the Wild. Like people keep saying Breath of the Wild, but that's how people rephrased it. So I'm just gonna say it. But it's like an open world Pokemon game with Pokemon walking around. Nothing like, to my knowledge of the Let's Go series. It's not like them popping up going, "Hey, I'm right here in the grass. Come get me." Like literally, you see like 4 Bidoofs hanging out in the middle of like a valley. And all that stuff, and then you have to actually sneak up towards them, and you can throw a ball without encountering like a fight with them, and that seems interesting. What is it? Yeah, you also get to play with the first style of Pokemon balls, because obviously this is old times, and there's obviously a story involving the region before it was become how it is now, because Arceus is gonna make me sound like a real bad nerd. Arceus is the god Pokemon, and then he created Mew. Mew has all the DNA of all the Pokemon in him, and then like it started transferring out, blah 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 blah. But Arceus is the real, technically like if you go by Christians, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, like he's the God part of it. He's like the top dog of it. And then the rest of them come from him. Kind of. But back to what I'm trying to say is like, it's going to be a brand new story of the prequel. And then also this one has a different style that you can have starter Pokemon, but they're like the starting Pokemon for Pokemon Legends is Cyndaquil, which is from Gen 2. Rowlet, which is, I believe, Pokemon Sun and Moon, and then Oshawott. Oshawott is from Gen 5. I think he's from Black and White. So these are some random picks of your Pokemon you can be in this game that's going to be totally different from the other ones. But what's getting people going is because it's a open world style of like capturing them. It was like these vast open worlds compared to like even like the wild area of Pokemon Sword and Shield. So it's that one was announced. It's gonna come out early 2022. But yeah, and then we also this week had Post Malone had a virtual Pokemon concert where he played his remake of Hootie and the Blowfish, Only Want to Be With You, and nothing like hear him talking about this girl only wanted sex though with a Bravery and a Charizard flying by him, which is very odd. But I just wanted to keep saying Happy Pokemon Day or anniversary, because when I was growing up, Pokemon was definitely like my game, in the sense of like when you listen to this and you say, "Oh yeah, what was your game when you're growing up?" and people like older people will have like, "Oh yeah, Super Mario," or be in the arcade playing Donkey Kong and doing all that shit, or like Legend of Zelda. Like Pokemon is my Legend of Zelda. Pokemon is like my Final Fantasy 1 through 3 that people always praise. That was me growing up. And I'm very excited and pumped for the future of the series because of just seeing this direct. It was really cool. But yeah, whew. I'm looking forward to the whole gaming year. It seems exciting. Seems exciting. But yeah, that's about it for the show. For this week, for hot picks for music, thanks to Chalfie, I found this song from a rapper from, I believe he said from Detroit, called Fat Ray, and this week's hot pick is Menacing. You can I'm probably going to be different compared to all the other ones. I'll probably put Fat Ray's Bandcamp link in like the description of the show, but it's pretty sweet. It's pretty good hip hop and all that stuff. I also it was either going to be Menacing or Top Ramen. There's also some features with Danny Brown and others, which is just check it out. It's I'm not saying it's free, but you can listen to it on Bandcamp, on his Bandcamp, the whole album. The whole album's called Santa Barbara. But yeah, I'd check it out. It's not too shabby, from Fat Ray. And then for comics, I will say this X-Men Demon Days issue 1, and then this other one that is from Image Comics called Noctera issue 1. Apparently, Image Comics is not usually do this, but they're starting to push out some superhero-esque comics, because usually Image is more for independence. Could be just drama comics or horror comics, but they're going to start pushing out a little bit of superhero comics out of their brand. And I think Noctera is obviously the starting, so who knows, maybe you can pick up issue 1 and you might have a little gem down the road. Maybe somebody pick up Noctera for a TV series or a movie or something. But obviously, whatever. And then for TV, I was going to pick, I can't remember what I was going to pick, but I'm picking Close Enough. Season 2 for HBO Max just came out. So if you like a regular show from Cartoon Network, but you want a little bit more definitely adult, since obviously, have you seen season 1? Season 2 has just started the premieres of it. And it looks pretty funny. But yeah, that was it for the show. Like I said, please follow me at Mike Fowler93. Twitch.tv/Cousin Cecil, CUZNCISEAL. But yeah, you guys be good to each other this week. And you guys should definitely follow me on Twitter. You guys might have been at the starting section of seeing I had I don't want to call it viral, but I got my first ever tweet that ever went up to, right now of recording, I'm looking at 3,108 likes. It's the first time in my life one of my memes did that far. Thanks. I'm going to say, I should say thank you to the dog walker that got shot 4 times for Lady Gaga for it. But yeah, until next time, I'm also going to do something different. We're actually going to leave the episode with Fat Ray's, just a small clip of his Menacing. We're just trying to switch it up. Just because he's Detroit, got to represent. All right, thank you and peace. We can turn it into a war if you want it. We can demonstrate at your door if you want it. Put you face to face with the Lord. You gotta study how to move right. You gotta trust your instincts, what they move like. Don't be fooled by the hoes or the money and the shows. Any second you can lose sight. Every second it's a way to fight. So when you get it, you can push it to the limit because you pay the price. Plain Jane, you can play the ice. Whole thing, you can take a slice. Everybody say